Hey everybody, it's Stephen Paul from WinExtra bringing you your daily brief for April the 18th, 2011. And before Paul gives me a hard time about it, we're sorry about Friday missing a show. It's Paul's fault. No, actually it's not Paul's fault. It was my fault. So,
don't make me come up to Canada and slap a...
It's okay, you can say Canuckland, alright? I do it all the time.
Canuck.
Alright?
I'm just going to try avoid making jokes about that because I've got an image in my head right now wrapped in dirt.
Hey, listen, it can't be any worse than Batman being bisexual.
Dude, on his viral during the week, we posted a video with Adam West, who was Batman in the original 60s series.
I'm old enough to remember him.
Yes, and he was discussing, the gay sexual overtones of Batman, and it was rather enlightening. And of course, as you know, Adam West himself was gay. He's gay.
Is he? So, I didn't know that.
To the best of my knowledge, I stand to be corrected, but to the best of my knowledge, he is. But yeah, he was kind of going on about the overtones of two dudes living in a house together, running around in tights and leotards the whole time, hoping that no people recognize them.
All right, okay, well, okay. Now let's get on with what we're actually here to talk about today: Microsoft stuff. No tights involved.
You don't think that the computers in the Batcave run on like Windows 7?
Yeah, okay. Quickly, Microsoft looks like it's going to the Supreme Court to fight the I4I patent.
Yeah, today they're getting their day in court. This is the challenge that, other companies like Google, Verizon, and a ton of others they're all involved. Basically, they're saying, it should be easier to invalidate patents, especially when you can prove your stuff. Because, there's a lot of patent trolls out there and that sort of stuff. So, they're getting their day in front of the Supreme Court today, so we should only have to wait until about June to get a ruling on this. So, fingers crossed, this could be good news for the tech world.
Someone else that can keep their fingers crossed, AT&T users of Windows Phone 7 should actually be getting their updates.
Unless, of course, you're on HTC Surround, which is still in testing because of third-party software packages. So I'm starting to get the impression that AT&T isn't allowing an update to go out unless they've tested every single app in the bloody App Store.
I don't know. It's ridiculous.
And also, sort of side note, over the weekend, April 15th came and gone, and no mention from Verizon about their Windows Phone 7 plan, so now it looks like it's going to be May or June before the launch happens.
What a mess.
But you know what's not kind of messy? Lots of details came out about Mix at the end of last week and over the weekend that we didn't get to talk about. Won't really affect AT&T users too much because they won't be getting them till like 2015. But lots of details about Mango. Mango was fairly showing off lots of cool multitasking, true multitasking. Running things like Spotify in the background while people were doing other stuff. Spotify, interestingly enough, that they were showing off Spotify, which we can't get on this side of the Atlantic yet. Is that a hint of things to come on this side of...
Maybe for the U.S. it is, but I wouldn't count on it for Canuckland.
Well, what was really cool as well was they showed off background audio HTML5.
Yeah.
I know that doesn't sound utterly awesome, but if you think about HTML5, audio playing in your browser, in a background tab, in a multitask thing on your phone, which is...
Another interesting one, too, was multi-informational tiles. The live tiles showing multiple parts of information, like what they had, Qantas, showing
they had Qantas.
Leaving, arriving, all in the same tile. That was...
Yeah, now, already the tiles, Microsoft has this glance and go concept for Windows, which is basically, as they've always said, this is the phone to save you from your phones. You don't have to come in, you don't have to press the button, wait for the app to load, go look for your information, and blah, blah, blah. No, all the information is there on your tile. And basically, this is like the Tiles version 2.0, where they're They're more interactive. They display more useful information. So it's fairly cool. But again, AT&T customers are going to have to wait till 2015.
Yeah. The other thing that's come out too, apparently, we've got the specs for the second generation chassis for Windows.
Now you see,
7.
this is the AT&T workaround. If you want Mango, you want second generation, you want all these updates, this is what AT&T wants you to do.
Yeah.
Go out, buy the next bloody phone,
Yeah.
and then you'll get your updates. Because honestly, folks, and I would love somebody from AT&T to actually, 251-218-730, call us and leave us your point of view, but, quit cutting with the bollocks. This is exactly what you're doing.
Oh, yeah.
New hardware's coming out, yeah, let's force them to buy a new phone. Anyway, second generation Windows Phone 7 hardware specs out. The Qualcomm Snapdragon processor for second gen. That's already out there in a T-Mobile G2, but this is a beauty of a processor. What else are we seeing in there? IE9, obviously.
Qualcomm's. See, they got Qualcomm's M730, a fine multimedia performer.
Yeah, they've got the. No.
Or that's.
Okay. What's happening is they're upgrading, right?
Yeah.
The Snapdragon. To Qualcomm's M855, and then they're at the GPU is getting upgraded as well to the Adreno 205. So these are already out there. There's also, not mentioned in the article that we have in the show notes, but there's full gyroscope support as well as a couple of other bits and pieces. So second generation platform is actually looking quite
The gyroscope
good.
is OEM optional.
Yeah, it's OEM optional, but the support is there for it. It's made to let things differentiate. 256 meg RAM bare minimum. Nobody's going to ship with that bare minimum except maybe a few Nokia phones where they're going for the very low end market. Nobody's really going to ship with that, but it's a 256 meg RAM minimum and a minimum of 8 gig flash. Now you must remember that when Microsoft make these 8 gig flash statements, this is not 8 gig flash storage. Microsoft used the flash as memory.
Yeah.
So that is the difference here. Okay, so moving on from then, as we mentioned, IE9 will be coming in Mango.
Yeah.
And desktop users should be getting IE9 pushed to them by Windows Update today.
I upgraded my laptop. Well, I updated the laptop over the weekend, and the IE9 update was there when I went through.
Was it
Windows
optional, or was it one that was?
It was optional, I believe.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be optional this time. Right now, I think the IE9 update is pushed. Now, here's the interesting thing. Everybody was bitching and moaning and crying in their milk, Why won't IE9 run on my 10-year-old pirated Windows XP? Because I'm a freeloader, and I paid so much money for this back 10 years ago, and I still expect support. Because, really? If I'd done this with my car manufacturer wouldn't be even making the parts anymore. They'd be like, bugger off. Anyway, so these guys want new features for their Windows XP, and they're not getting them. Well, here's the news for Windows Vista. You ain't getting IE10, which is kind of telling me, look, we're fairly sure that IE10 is going to ship with default for
Windows 8.
For Windows 8. So, this is telling us now that Microsoft is adopting the strategy of saying, look, we can't be supporting this back catalog of old operating systems all the time. There is a reasonable support cycle. There's a reasonable security update cycle. But if you want the latest and greatest, you will have to be within at least 2 generations of the operating system.
Exactly.
So when IE8 or when Windows 8 comes out, it will be Windows 8 and Windows 7 that will get the latest and greatest. When Windows 9 comes out, Windows 7 will still be supported from security and updates point of view, but you will not be getting the latest and greatest features.
No.
And you know what? That's just the way to do it. It makes perfect sense.
It's about time. Enough with this.
If you don't like it, folks, if you really don't like it, email us, podcast@winextra.com, or text message us, or you leave us a voicemail at, 251-281-8730, and let us know why you don't like it. Let us know why you think Microsoft should backport features to, 10-year-old operating systems and operating systems that are more than, 2 generations down the line. Why you should get features that, people who are paying for a new operating system now are paying for.
Yeah. One of the things that came out over the weekend was we've been seeing some screenshots for Office 15. And besides the fact of a rather Metro look, there's apparently a new app that's coming within Office called Moria?
Moria? I don't know, but when you say it like that, it sounds like in Lord of the Rings, when they went under the mud. Yeah. I'm like, dude, what, is this a Tolkien reference or what?
Yeah.
So what is this Moria supposed to do?
It's a tile-based application, but Microsoft describes the app as everything you need in one place, according to a splash screen. Moria allows users to add documents, pictures, and text to the app as tiles of content. Mary Jo Foley at ZNet.
Okay, so basically, this is starting to sound to me like OneNote.
Yeah.
But with tiles.
Yeah. Oh, that's what she says. It's the application may be a OneNote plus one app that is featured in the Microsoft Courier concept videos.
Yeah, I'm also looking at this, right? And I'm thinking, this UI is pretty flat.
Yeah. But that's the way they're going. And if you look at any of the screenshots we've seen lately of Office or even Windows 8, there's a definite Metro touch to everything.
Well, here's an interesting thing that most people overlook when you talk about sort of the Metro style, and I know I give out to you a lot for talking about it, but if you consider, just from a power point of view, what it takes to render a Metro UI, which is very flat and very simple, versus what it takes to sort of, full-blown, let's go Vista UI, Aero, that's a big power difference in terms of GPU that is needed, memory that is needed, processing time. That leads to things like longer battery life, laptops and stuff, better performance on lower powered machines. So maybe the Metro UI is not necessarily just to do with a look and feel, but also to do with like a sort of a conservational thing.
Yeah. The other thing that came out this morning was Office 365.
I'm starting a drinking game.
You are you? Okay.
I am. My wife likes to slag me about the show and say that she's going to start a drinking game based on every time I say am, which apparently I say quite a lot. But I want to start a drinking game based on every time you say, and the other thing?
Shut up. The Office.
And we can do that one too. That's double shots every time you tell me to shut up.
Yeah. Office 365 hits public beta. Small businesses get the next generation cloud productivity suite or service.
I haven't tried it yet. Would like to, obviously. So I'll probably go sign up for that after the show. But I only found out that it hit beta just before we came on. We've talked lots about beta Office 365. It is Microsoft's Google Apps competitor. Google Apps, the professional edition competitor. Prices are fairly good on it. There's lots of different plans, anywhere between $10 to $27 per month, or if you're a small business, you're talking about down as far as $6 per user.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, Google Apps is about $50 per seat, so I'm going to try it after the show, so maybe we'll have some more to talk about it tomorrow. But,
last up, as we close out today, Windows 8 is rumored to have hybrid booting and portable workspaces.
This I'm kind of interested about, and I'm afraid of it. Portable workspaces is this kind of notion that you can save your entire sort of stuff to your USB drive and take your Windows 8 with you anywhere. Basically, plug it in.
Yeah.
Think of it like other operating systems already do it for installing and testing. Like if you download Ubuntu, you put it on a USB drive, you can run it from the USB drive, test it there, and install from there too if you want to. I'm just wondering from a security perspective how easy that's going to make Windows 8 to hack and crack for those out there. The hybrid, I'm not too sure. I don't have a lot of information about this hybrid booting. The information I'm getting is that it's a more advanced version of the current Hibernate feature, which is Hibernate is where basically Windows saves the information about everything that's running to your hard drive and shuts down completely. There's no power, but when you boot back up, everything comes back to exactly where it left off. It's kind of like standby, but without the power.
I think it's supposed to be their basis for instant on.
Well, then we should also be hoping then that there's a lot more SSD-based Windows 8 machines. Yeah. Especially in the laptop arena. I know they will be in the tablet market, but in the laptop arena and the desktop arena, definitely.
Feedback-wise, J-Dog on Twitter was kind enough to remind us that Microsoft has offered Barack Obama a free Windows phone after he quipped that he was wondering where the modern technology was in the White House.
Yeah, he was sort of peed off that there was, he said that the technology in the White House was like 30 years behind, which means they were like running Ataris or something. Well, probably not, but, he also said that like he's got this BlackBerry and it's supposedly uber locked down, by the Secret Service or whoever does that for the president and so that nobody can access his information. But of course he was giving out then that, oh, what a cool phone with all the buttons. So
with the slide-up screens, yes.
Microsoft turned around and offered him that. The only problem I can see of Barack Obama being able to take this is basically the phone that he takes is dictated to him by what can be locked down.
Yeah.
And, right now I don't think, unless the Secret Service is going to come in and basically tell AT&T, you guys got to get these upgrades through because we got to fix the phone to the president and know what we're locking down. And AT&T is like, no, we can't do this. The users can't have it. So the president will have to wait. I don't really see him being able to take it just for the security reasons alone. But still, fair dues to Microsoft for just saying, look, here, have it. Well, interestingly enough, as soon as JDogC put that out there on Twitter, somebody called The Naked Troll, which should basically tell you exactly what they were going to say next, came around and said, Microsoft still doesn't get it. He asked for it. Cool.
Yeah. And on that note, folks, this has been Steve and Paul for WinExtra Daily Brief for April the 18th, 2011. We will see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody.
Unless Hodson character.
Shut up.